Hello, 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 everyone. This is Miriam from Paper Wheel Studio, home of the Wheelchair Crafter. I have been working in my craft room this morning, and today I am working with envelopes. Lay this aside here. I started out, oops, I got all kinds of goodies here that I didn't realize I had here. So let me see what's what. Oh, that's just a bunch of scrap papers that I could be using. So we'll leave these in a pile that I can get to them up here. And this is a policy envelope that I just copy dyed. So it only simply needs decorated. So I'm going to lay it to the side. And this is the little envelope folio we made the other day, remember? I haven't put any of my tags in here yet, but that would be the perfect place to put a couple smaller tags. And I thought about going around the edges with washi tape, but I don't think I'm going to. I may just put a piece down through here so that the inside is all the blue color. But other than that, I think it turned out really good. So today we're going to play with more envelopes. I had oodles of this size envelope, just oodles of it. So let's get rid of this policy envelope. We'll put him at the bottom of the pile. And we'll put these on the top. I've already started cutting some, so I thought I would show you here what I have cut. And we'll work with those for a few minutes, and then maybe I'll do some other things with my envelopes. Let's see, I have another one. Yeah, this is two different kinds of envelopes. So I want to lay that on the top because I would like to use it after I work on these. Anyway, this is just a regular envelope. I believe these came from Amazon. They don't even have any gummy on the edges. I just noticed that, didn't realize it because I glue them down. But yeah, there's no gumminess on these edges. They're very flimsy envelopes too. So I like to use them to make pockets with. And these I have simply, I think, just cut in half. Let me see if I cut a center out of this. I may have. Yeah, I cut a little bit out of the center. So now I just have this pocket, which would be great once we glue it together, putting something on the front, and then all it needs is decoration, right? And here's another one. So just simply cutting your envelopes in half. Make great pockets for your junk journal. You could even, this size envelope, you could even glue it closed and slit one of your edges. Then you would have a pocket under your envelope and a pocket inside your envelope. So that's one good way to use them. I'm going to go ahead and glue down my flap for this one. Come on, glue. You were flowing momentarily ago. There it comes. This is just my white PVA glue. It's easier for me to squeeze if I just put it in a little teeny tiny bottle, and then I don't get a whole bunch out at one time. Because it really doesn't take a lot when you're working with pockets or anything. Let's hold this right, folks. There it comes. There we go. All right. Now it's flowing good. I guess I needed to drop it in my lap to make it work. Oh boy, what a day. Today is Friday. Is anybody else glad it's Friday? Doesn't really matter to me. Even though I say I'm glad it's Friday, it doesn't really matter to me what day of the week it is, since I don't work outside my home. And until here recently, I didn't have any transportation other than public transportation. I did have a van that got wrecked when my partner had seizures, and we hadn't replaced it. This last weekend, it got replaced. So I now have a van that I can go to a craft store if I choose to. So I'm just going to lay this aside to dry, and then I'll decide where I want to cut it and use it. Now I'm just going to glue these pockets here. You could glue the flap down on the whole thing and then come back. This is just a scrap I cut to fit. And really, there's no special size for these. Your pockets will be whatever size your envelopes are. Just gluing this one closed as well. And I'm going to glue this piece up on top of this like that. And then I can go back and add some decorations. So let me get my ink so I can ink this up. You better put your pen back in your glue, Miriam, or it will clog up and you won't be able to glue your next one. Let me go ahead and glue this one though. I'm having a hard time making up my mind what I want to do next, folks. Hopefully you can keep up because I'm having trouble. But that's the way it goes sometimes, you know. All right, there we go. Now we got that one glued and we can set that one aside a bit. Get my ink up here at the top and my dauber ready. I'm using Story Sky, maybe Distress Oxide. I like the Distress Oxide. It gives it a, I don't know, a more subtle color than the inks do. But it's really a personal preference. If you don't like inking around anything of any kind, you can just simply put it down, cut a piece. I don't measure. These have all been torn, some of the pages torn, some of them cut. So just a wide variety. And I did that because it takes so long for me to make things that I went ahead and cut things in advance so that you don't have to sit around and wait on me. And did you see what I did there? I did not even put my pen back in my glue, like I said I was going to. So be sure you take care of your glue bottles and if you take care of your craft supplies, they will last so much longer in the process. And I think I'm just going to put this down with my glue stick. You could use art glitter glue, you could use PVA glue, you can use anything you want. It's just, this is easier for me to just simply use a glue stick. I do use, this is just simply a placemat with contact paper on it that I have on my desk. That way I could just wipe it off when I'm finished with my video or finished crafting. It can just be cleaned off. So I'm just going to center this piece in the middle of this envelope that we cut. There we go. How's that for practically in the middle? That might be, I think that piece is cut slightly crooked, but don't tell anybody. If I wanted to, I could come back in here and do a little snip with my scissors, but that will affect the inking I did. However, it will make the piece look more straight. Better quit while I'm ahead, right? So I'm just going to go back in here before I press that down all the way and put some ink there. And go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and ink around the rest of my pocket. And all it will need is a little embellishment when it goes into the journal. Another pocket for a journal. Actually, when we finish, when you cut your envelopes in half, you actually have 2 pockets. I think I cut these this side because I had several scraps that were this side that I thought would be just great to glue on the top there. So not only that, you could even make this, and I believe with different envelopes, maybe it'll work. This is just a fake credit card that they sent me trying to get me to sign up for something. Yeah, this size envelope will be perfect. You could make these and then just slip gift cards in them. If you wanted to. All right, where's my other cut piece of paper? Here we go. Again, this is just a scrap from the other day when we were working on things. Can't remember what, oh, the paper bag pockets is what I cut these for. And I ended up having a bunch left over, so I just simply thought they would work to make some envelope pockets. This paper here should be pretty straight because it was pre-cut. I think it was a tablet that I got it to Moo. Well, you can get sucked in on that one and down the rabbit hole you go if you're not careful. All right. There we go. Pocket number 2. Baseline is basically done. And the reason I glued it down on where the envelope goes together, I have a nice smooth surface if I want to, when I glue this down, if I want to glue it with a U, put the glue on this edge, then I actually have layered pockets. So we'll put these two to the side. And we'll do another pocket like folio. This one actually doesn't need much. I simply folded the envelope in half and it looks like a mini folder. So what I'm going to do is take my glue and glue these edges here down. And since it is already a light blue, I can decorate it for the journal and it'll be ready to go. Don't even need to worry about gluing my envelope closed. I'm just going to glue along the edge to hold that down so when I put a piece in, if somebody picks it up and opens it up, it won't fall out. And then you can add tickets, tags, whatever you'd like to this envelope. To give you some idea, here goes the glue to my lap. My lap's catching it. Keeps rolling out of my hand. I'm going to put my glue on this side this time so I don't end up with excess. All right, so now, oops, this side didn't want to go down here, did it? Really stick that down so it sticks good. Rub off any excess glue. And now I have a little folio that can be used in a journal if I folded my envelope evenly. Let's see if I can come back here and fix this. Hopefully. It's still a little off. There we go. I'm okay with that. Now we have a little folder. And if you had tags, we'll just use these 2 pockets that I've already made, and we can just stick them in this folder right now for storage. So then you've got a little pocket folio, and you can decorate the front of it. So let's lay that one in my done pile over here. Put the cap back on my glue. And I'll show you how I cut the next one. This one, I simply, this envelope goes like this. This piece, I gotta remember how I had it. Oh, this piece went like this, and I just trimmed up. I cut this one straight. I didn't like the way this one looked, so I just cut down my corners, and I ended up with this side tuck. So this one's going to go this way, and this one's going to go like this. Again, you could put this down so that you would actually have two pockets from it. And I'm just going to put my glue here on my flap and stick it down. The fun thing about envelopes, there's actually another creator doing 100 days of envelopes. So she's showing millions of different ways to use your envelopes in your journal. Now I have this piece here, and it will go on there. I think what I'm going to do is put my glue on this piece, stick it down, and then, no, I don't want to do that, because if I do, it'll go clear to the edge on one and not the other. So let's do this. Let's turn it over, and I'll grab my pencil. From the side here, and I'm just going to lay this down here about where I think it needs to go, and I'm just going to draw a line down through here. See if I got it good with my line. So I'm going to just simply cut below the line to cut the line off this paper, and I think it will fit good. We'll check it when I'm finished and see. Now, hopefully, it'll fit right on here like that. And it did. Yippee, hippie, skippy. So again, well, I cut this one. I didn't notice that was on the back, but that's okay. I cut it to fit this side. So that's where we're going to put it. So is anybody being affected by the big snow that we got out west, or the one that's coming in the east? I don't think if we get anything, it might be some rain, or maybe it's already bypassed us. I don't know for sure. I just remember seeing it when I was watching the news. Folks in Michigan and up toward that way is really going to be getting lots of snow. There we go. That'll work. Works for me. Not perfect, but junk journaling isn't supposed to be perfect. So we're going to put that in my done pile over here. And this is the other piece that came off my envelope. So I was hoping that this would work on here. It has some writing, but my thoughts were to turn it this way. And then I can also trim off the point up here, because I don't really like them to come to a point. So we're going to just trim the point off there. That will be perfect. So I'm going to turn it over without losing where I have it. So there we go. Actually, it needs to go more like that, doesn't it? And my flap needs trimmed too, so I'm going to come along and glue this down and then trim the flap, so it'll be a lot easier to glue the paper on it. And since I'm not decorating today, I can show you all kinds of these envelope ideas. Envelopes work very well in junk journals. You can use them for pockets, tucks, tags, really just about anything you put in your journal, you could use envelopes to create it. Not sure how that happened, but probably because the envelope wasn't glued together. So, in that case, you can either put it, I think, which way do I want it? This way or this way? I think I will do it this way. So let's see. And we want to leave a nice margin. So we don't need other than to cut across the top here. Oops, I moved it. Okay, that's where I want it. So I'm just going to trim out my paper. And when I trim it, I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch around the line, because that would exactly come to that edge if it gets glued down that way. So I'm going to come inside my little line after I plug up my glue and cap my glue stick. Don't do as I do, do as I say. Take care of your stuff, or you just end up buying more. So, all right, let's get back into our pocket here. I'm just going to come about 1/8 of an inch inside that. And it's easier if I just go all the way across. No, I didn't worry about getting straight after I did that one cut. So I'm going to come over about 1/8 of an inch and cut down my line, and hopefully it will work great to fit our pocket. And that's the thing about paper. It has to go on the other side here, because that's how I ended up cutting it. So that's how it's going to go. Like that. And it ended up not having any sideways writing, so that worked out really well. So I think for this one I will use my white glue, just for something different to use here. If you do use like a PVA glue, make sure you use something to spread it out, either after you get it on your paper or before you put it down on your paper. Fingers work very well for this. And your PVA glues usually dry pretty quickly, so you got to work quick when you're spreading your glue out. Make sure you get it to the edges. If not, you could always come back and add a little extra. Going too high here. Well, but turned out better than the last one, I think. Did pretty good. So now I'm just going to shove it down. You could use your bone folder or your fingers or whatever works for you. Just using my fingers because that's what I have readily available. They are the best craft tool ever sometimes. Somehow I got a little sliver on there, so there we go, that took it off there. And I didn't go ahead and ink that, but I don't mind, because that stormy sky, you wouldn't be able to see it along my paper anyway. So now I have that one. And there's just a couple more I'll show you here. Let me pull out what I need. Okay, this is two different envelopes. This was like a policy envelope that is very crookedly cut at the top. And then I have this piece. Let me straighten them out so they are they happen to be almost exactly the same width. So I'm going to straighten this out here on the end with my handy dandy little mini scissors that are easier for me to cut with. So we'll try here. I don't want to get the pocket, but it really won't matter because we're going to somehow make this into a pocket. All right, so now we have this construction. Yeah, there we go. My envelopes have a flap. This envelope opens at the top. So I'm going to come along. You could punch a notch here. I don't have my, or do I have my punch handy? No, I don't have my punch where I can get to it. So I'm going to just glue this together. You could stick it in a pocket. You could also put this down in your journal so that this pocket's on one page and decorate this side, and this pocket is on the other page and decorate your back side. It really is up to you once you construct these, how you use them in your journal. It really makes no difference. Just trying to give you some ideas on how to use your envelopes. And you can just put them in the journal, decorate them up and put them in a journal. You can make journals out of them. So I'm simply going to glue that. Oh, what did I just say? I wasn't going to glue that way, didn't I? That's all right. We'll come back in here and fix it because I'm not paying attention to myself today. It's very quiet in my house at the moment. I can almost hear every cricket noise from outside. It's so quiet in here. Doesn't matter which way you turn this. Just leave a little extra where you glue it down so that you have room if you do want to put it on a page. I can't see this. Well, that's picked up. I can't see this line, so let me ink it a little bit. It's very hard to see, especially when you're filming. And you can't get closer because of your camera. I could, but you'd see the top of my head and that wouldn't be very nice. Okay, now I've got this. So, come back along here. This glue on here doesn't need to be here. All right. So I'm going to glue this down, just leaving a little bit of a fraction where I put my blue line. It also gives me something here to work towards to get it straight. All right. And I went up a little too high, so I got to pull that down anyway. Try to line them up at the bottom here. The beauty of a glue stick, you can just pull it up. If you use a glue gun or some of the other glues, it's very difficult if you make a mistake. All right. So now we have this piece, and I've got some pieces cut up here. Let's see if they would work to use on this. Don't know. I do not know. I do not know. So let's see if these will work in here once they're inked. I believe I cut them so that they would. Maybe not evenly, but I hand cut them rather than using my paper punch. Okay. So yeah, we got a piece for each side of this. So we're going to go ahead and glue it down. These are just some digitals that I picked up somewhere. I could not tell you where. I think it was my porch prints. Might have even been, she says freebies when you order from her. If you order several kits, sometimes she'll send you a little thank you, a one-page deal. And this either came with a journal or was one of those little one-page deals. I'm pretty sure it's My Porch Prints, but I'm not 100% sure here. So, it's hard if you're just looking for one paper to figure out what, if it came from a digital kit, to figure out what kit that it came from. And I'm just going to go ahead and put these down, and then I'll do my inking around them rather than inking the papers themselves. Oh, crooked, crooked, crooked. Oh no, it's crooked and it's sticking to my mat. I'm just going to, before I stick this complete edge down, if I have to re-glue it, I will, but I'm just going to straighten up my edge here. So that, tell you what, let's close it like that. And I'll take the extra off here from the edge. You can just come along and try not to cut it. I just kind of angle my scissors a little and cut, and hope and pray I don't cut my envelope open. And if I did, I would just simply glue it shut. So don't ever be afraid to make mistakes. If you watch my videos long enough, you'll see how to correct most mistakes, because most likely I've made them. So maybe you can learn from my mistakes and not make them yourselves, right? Okay, so we got that one down there. Let's put one on this side. I think, you know what, I'm just going to leave the envelope as is and glue it down. Now that one's super duper short, so that's probably not a good one to put on there. Forgive me, that's my doorbell. All right, that one will go perfect. So let me glue it down. I think I'm going to leave mine blank on the back so that I can maybe glue it down in the journal and have this flop out pocket. So getting to be on my 30 minutes, so I'm not going to do any decorating today. And we'll finish this little pocket deal up. Show you without creating it one more idea. And that will be all. Oh, did you see what I did? I glued the whole thing. It's just going down there. I'll turn it into something else somehow. Put another pocket on this page. I'll do something. Okay. Glue over there too. Goodness. Talk about messy, messy day. So we're going to put this baby down. After I try to straighten this edge, so I'm going to put it here, get each end even with the end of my envelope, or straight as I can with my envelope here, and I'm just going to cut this edge off to make it straight. And it'll go on there and have just a little bit of a frame when I glue it down to the front. Perfect. Oh yeah, much better. So it's just going to go down here like this with a little bit of a frame around it. And it actually, we're going to trim the bottom of here too. Let's do the top so we don't lose Mr. Buggy. We'll leave it like that while I trim across here. Because I want to leave about the same amount at the top and the bottom. Just eyeballing it. You could use your cutter, cut them perfectly to the size if you'd like. I really don't feel the need to do that. So this one I am going to ink the edges since it is the front. Just a little bit with ink already on my dauber. Just enough to cover up my white edges. And just going to put it down. Let's see how much shorter this one is than this other piece. It might work on the back if it's... Oh, it's a little bit shorter, so I'm not going to put anything down on it for now. This one I'm just trying to get it down so that there's a frame. Yep, there we go. That worked out. So now we have this little flippy pocket. Must not have gotten enough glue in the corners, so let me add a little bit more. And I'm done. Alrighty. So let me recap these pockets that I have showed you through envelopes. Nothing new. I'm sure there are lots of other creators who have done this with envelopes in the past. And we'll probably do some more with envelopes for my 100-day challenge is up. But here's just a few more simple pockets from envelopes. We have this. It is like a flip out pocket. This is open here at the top. And you can glue it down on the page. And then you have this flip out that could have been a pocket, but since I messed up, it will just be some writing space there. We have that one. We have these two diagonal ones. So I can get them out of my file. Here we go. The two diagonals. We have this one that's not been covered that I'm going to split down the side so it can become, actually I'm going to split it down the middle so it'll be like two side tuck things. I'm going to wait till I have my paper punch and just cut it down through there because I know I will cut it crooked if I don't. Not my paper punch, my paper cutter. And then we have this little folio that's housing these two little pockets that we made. So there we go. There's my envelope ideas. You all have a wonderful afternoon.